I'm going to be showing you two ways in which you can make your shirt sleeve. Now this is the first one. I wonder why my picture is not showing how beautiful it is in this video. Now you can see this one is the placket, the plate, and the band. Now the second one is with a bias and the band. So anyone you feel like making for your client, you can do that. So watch till the end, guys. You can see that I have two different fabric here because I'll be making two shirt sleeve for a client. She's the owner of the two. So the first one I'll be cutting this one. So I'll drop this one aside. Then let's work on this. It's being folded into 4 because I want to cut the two sleeve together. I have tutorial on a sleeve, and I've also drafted sleeve several times on this channel. But let's still start so that for those of you that have not watched those videos, so you can understand how to draft a sleeve. It's just a normal basic sleeve. I'm going to be marking 4 inches like this. Then in between the 4, I'll get the midpoint. That is 2 inches. Can you see? Then I'll go down here on the 4 inches. I'll go down by 1 inch. From this upper part here, I'm going to be marking the cap height. I will use 4.5 for the cap height. So guys, this is the cap height. Then on this cap height is where you put your client's round sleeve measurement. So her round sleeve is 16 inches. That is 8. Then I'm going to be adding 1 inch sewing allowance on this round sleeve. So you start connecting from this 8 inches to the 1 inch here. So this is how you connect. Then from this 1 inch, you connect to this 2 inches up here. Like this. The full length of our sleeve is 25 inches. So 25 minus 3.5 for the band, we have 21.5. So this is the 21.5 here plus ½ inch sewing allowance. So 21.5, then ½ inch sewing allowance. So I'm going to be ruling the line. You're going to put her edge around ankle, this place. Yes, so I'm using 9 inches. That divided by 2, we have 4.5. So I'll add 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect the lines. So guys, this is our sleeve. So let's cut it off. On these upper parts, I'm just going to cut a little because it's joined together. So this is how to cut your sleeve. So you're just going to notch this upper part to get the middle. You're going to open it. So you're going to open it like this. And it's always important for you to iron your sleeve so that you can get your middle line. That middle line is very, very important. Now the way it is like this, because I'm going to be cutting a part here, you can either do here or this side, anywhere you want to slit. Now you can see that when I open it up, our sleeve is right side facing right side. So always remember that you must always place it right side to right side. So you close it back. We already have our seam allowance here. Seam allowance of 1 inch on this place. Seam allowance of 1 inch on this side. So from here, from this your seam allowance of 1 inch, you're going to mark 2.5 inches. So from this 2.5 inches, you'll be going up from here by 4 inches. So just indicate whatever you have here. Here I have 2.1. So just mark it here to get a straight line. Yeah, so you will now go up here by 4 inches. So when you go up by 4 inches, rule it like this. Then just rule it down like this. Then you just slash, you slit it open. The way you see me doing like this. So when you get to this 4 inches, you stop. Then you just notch, go to one corner, notch like this. Go to the other side, you notch like this. Now, this is how it's looking like. Can you see it? This notch part is actually for ease, so that when you are sewing, you can be able to, you get, this place will not skew. We are done cutting this sleeve now, so let's work on the band. Look at it. Now I'm going to fold it like this. So what I have here is a band of 4.5, but I'll be using a band of 4 inches because I'll use ½ inch to sew it. So I'll just mark 4. I'll gum it first. When I gum with paper gum, then I can now trim off what I don't want. So let me do that. Guys, after gumming it, this is it. So I'm just going to be cutting off what I don't need. Now remember the wrist measurement I did 9 inches. Yes, you know, it was 9 inches divided by 2. I used 4.5. Now I want to use 10 inches because I'll be sewing it half inch on both sides. I'll be cutting 10 into 2 places. So you're going to measure 10 inches. So let's cut 10 inches now. So I'm going to divide this one by 2. Yes, so this is for the 2 sleeve now. This is for 1 and this is for 1. You're going to take your iron and you fold here ½ inch. When you fold here ½ inch, so you're going to iron it like this. So you already know your line, your middle line here, the iron line here, so will tell you not to exceed that. So when you fold it into half, then you fold and you iron it, but automatically you have your ½ inch left here. So let me do that for these 2. Okay guys, this is what I'm talking about. Can you see it? Yes, to take another fabric like this. So I'm going to gum it with paper gum because it looks stretchy. So if I want to iron, it might be difficult for me to iron. The width I have here is 2 inches. The length, you can do any length you want. So when you get your desired length, you trim it off. So let me gum it with paper gum. This is it. After gumming it with paper gum now, then the next thing we'll do is to iron it. So you're going to fold like this. Can you see the way I'm folding? When you fold like this, you fold again like this. Then you now fold like this. And you're going to press it down. Let me show you again. You're going to fold the first one this way. You fold the second one that way. Then you fold it again like this. So you're going to press it. So let me do that. So guys, this is it. Can you see? When you open it, it's like this. You get. So when you fold again, this is how it is. So sewmates, let's go and sew. The first thing we'll be sewing is this one. We'll be sewing this first. So you're going to take your strap the way it is like this. This is the right side, so let the right side, let it stay up. So you take it this way and you place it like this at the middle. So when you place it at the middle, you fold it on it. So let's start sewing. So you place that notch part, you place it inside. So that notch part will be the one inside. So you keep sewing this way. Now always make sure this upper side is smaller than the down part. Let this down part come out a little, because if it's the same, by the time you sew on it, you might not sew on the down parts. So when you place it this way, make sure you reduce this upper part. Let this down one be more than. So when you sew, you cut off the excess. Now can you see the way it is inside? Then look at how it is outside. So guys, this is how it is looking like. So for it to stay well inside, not to have this pointy head, you're going to have to turn it this way. Turn it to the right, to the wrong side. Then you'd make sure you place the two. Let it be the same. After turning it to the right side, make sure the two is on the same line here. Yes, make sure it is on the same line here. So can you see the way it is like this now? You will just stop stitch on this point here. This point here, you just stop stitch. So look at what I'm doing. Just so can you see how I top stitch? Can you see how I top stitch? Yeah, so when you now open it from outside, it is now looking like this. It is no longer pointy up here. It is now looking like this. I hope you understand. We have this wider part and we have this smaller part. So this wider part here, you're just going to fold it in a little. Just fold it in like this. Fold this seam, this seam, this one you sew. Just fold it in and use your machine to just secure it down so that it's going to close up. Can you see that when I sew inside, automatically it's closing up this way? This is how to sew your slits. Now after this, guys, you're going to turn it this way and let's sew our seam allowance when we were drafting it. So you're going to be sewing so when we get to this place, I already have my 1 inch here. Let's turn it. So when you turn it, this is how it is going to look like. Now the next thing is to take your band. This band, you're going to make it face like this, right side to right side. Make sure you leave 1/2 inch here. So just take here, let it be at the middle line, and you'll be sewing with 1/2 inch. Sew the other side also. So in order for you to be sure of what you are sewing, take your sleeve and you measure whatever you have here. What I have here is 9.75. That's almost 10, because sometimes your sleeve gets to expand, so you measure it and you sew on what is left. You are going to trim off this excess. So after sewing, guys, you turn it to the other side. So you will now take your sleeve and you're going to start sewing from the side of the sleeve. So you take this one, the way it is like this, you place it this way on each other, then you sew with the sewing allowance. So you keep sewing, make sure this place also matches each other. So when you sew, guys, so now we'll be turning it to the outside. So you are going to take it this way, you're going to push your seam, you push it inside like this. So you push it inside and you sew on it. Okay, sewmates, the first sleeve is ready. Now this is our sleeve. You can choose to put 2 buttons. You can choose to put 1 button here and put the other button here. Yeah, so we are done with this. We are done with this sleeve. Now let me sew the second hand. Sewmates, so after sewing the 2, I'm going to iron it now for you guys to see. Can you see how neat and beautiful it is? So guys, we're done with this first one. This one looks easy. Yeah, it is very easy and sharp, you know, you can do that. And then the second one we'll be doing, look at it, can you see it? It's very fine, like. So I'm going to drop this one aside, then let's work on this one. This one is going to have the slits, the plackets, and pleats. Yes, so this one is more tedious than that one, so I decided to do that one first before this one. So guys, stay to the end of this tutorial if you want to learn how to make different shirt sleeve. And you know, this is the season for 2-piece. Everybody wants to wear 2-piece. So when your clients, when you cannot give them what they want, they'll go to other places. So that is why we are doing this tutorial. And if you enjoyed that first one, yes guys, if you really enjoy it, I want you to give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Now let's get started. So the same thing I did for that one is what I'll be doing for this one. So my fabric is folded into 4 because I'll be cutting the 2 sleeves together. So watch how I cut. I'm just going to mark a straight line up here. I'm still going to draft the same basic sleeve I drafted on that one, but this one have SX here for pleats. After rolling this first line here, the next thing is from here I'll be getting our cap height. I'm going to use 4.5. Then because it's the same person that have the 2 shirts, so I'm using the same round armhole measurement. On this part here, you should be familiar with this if you've watched the first tutorial. So 4 inches, 2 inches in between. Then you come down here by 1. So you connect from here to this 2 inches here. Then you add 1 inch sewing allowance. Now let's get the length. So for the length here, I'm also still going to use this length. So let me mark 22 inches. I'm marking 22 here. Now from this down part here, remember I used 4.5 for the first one. Now this is the 4.5 because the edge here is 9 divided by 2. You know, sleeve is divided by 2, not divided by 4. So this is a 4.5. I'm going to add 2.5 inch for the pleating. This is the pleating allowance, 2.5 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Do you understand? This is a 4.5 for the edge sleeve, the round edge sleeve. I added 2.5 for pleats, then I added 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'll be connecting our lines. Now let me cut it off. Okay guys, so I'll notch this upper parts. So we are still going to do the same thing we did for the first one. You're going to open it this way. So we already have our center crease line. So just arrange your sleeve properly. You're going to mark your 1 inch seam allowance here. Then you're going to measure your round this place 9 inches. You're going to measure the 9 inches. So this is the 9 inches on this part here. You indicate it like this. Then you're going to put your 2.5 inch pleat allowance. So you mark your 2.5 inch pleat allowance. Can you see what I did, or do you want me to do it again? I know you want it, so let me repeat what I did again. Now from here you're going to mark your 1 inch seam allowance on here. So your round edge here, this place here of 9 inches, you're going to place it from this 1 inch, and you place it like this. So you mark 9 inches like this. Then you're going to add your 2.5 inch pleat allowance. You indicate it like this. So now on this 2.5 is where you now go up by 4 inches. So for you to get a straight line, I have from here to here 4.5, also indicates 4.5. So just rule it down. Yes, the same way we did for the first one. When you slit to this 4 inches, you stop. You go on this side, you notch a little. You go on this side, you notch a little. So when you open it, this is how it is. So guys, after doing this, now we're going to drop this aside and let's get our band. So this is the band we'll be using. I'm going to gum it also. So I'm going to measure a band of 4 inches, the same way we do for the first one. So guys, I've done the same thing for the band. Can you see? So I'll drop this one. Now I have this one here. I'm going to iron it the same way I iron this one, like this, the same way I iron this first one. I'm also going to iron this too, like that. I don't need up to this length. The length here is very long, so let me reduce it. So I have 2 inches here, 2 inches wide. I have it here. Then another important one, this is the placket itself. This is the placket. Now this placket is 3 inches wide, 3 inches wide. Then the length I have here is up to 12 inches. I don't need this exact length, but when we get to that bridge, I'll show you what to do. Do you understand? So let me iron this, then we'll now go to the sewing table. I have ironed it. Now let's move over to the machine and go and sew. This is the good side of the fabric. So we'll be piping these smaller parts here. So just place it inside this way, and you use this one here to cover it. Let's spray this thing, is okay. So you keep sewing. So after sewing, you're going to cut off the excess. You're done with the smaller parts. Let's work on this wider part here. So this wider part, you now take one of your plackets. This one, you take one of this one. So you'll be sewing from inside, from the wrong side inside. You place the right side of your placket to the wrong side, because we'll be flipping it to the right side. So this is the place that have paper gum. and this is the good side, but this one is the inner. So you're going to place it on it, and you sew with half inch. So you keep sewing. When you get to this notch here, you stop sewing from there. Okay, now I got there and I stop. The next thing you do is to flip it to outside, flip it to the right side, so you turn it. So when you turn it to the right side, look at how it is. I hope you see what I'm doing. Look at how it is. Now the way it is like this is the seam, this is the half inch used in sewing. So you're going to fold this particular one, you're going to fold it a little this way. After folding, you fold it back to cover this seam. Can you see what I did? Let me open it back. It is like this, guys. So you fold here with half inch, then you fold back to cover this seam. Now it depends on how wide you want your placket to be. If you want your placket to be wider, you're going to cut like 4 inches. You know, I cut 3 inches wideness. You're going to fold like this, and you fold to cover that seam allowance there. So now we'll sew. So guys, when you are sewing, make sure it covers the seam. So you keep sewing. Then when you get to this part here, you sew to this part. So when you get to this place, guys, you know the smaller one is like this. It has been like this. So you take this to your placket, you raise it up, you push this one to the inside, you push it. Can you see when I push it, it's standing properly? You know, initially it was like this. It was like this when you were sewing it. So you raise this one up and you push this one outside. So when you push this one outside, it's like this. Then you continue sewing. So remember the half inch you folded, you're still going to keep folding it. So you continue sewing. Now when you are sewing, you will not measure your placket length, the length you want it to be. So let's say you want it to be 7 inches. Now this is 7 inches. So you're going to cut off plenty from here. So you cut it off. So from that 7 inches, guys, you will now fold this one inside. Can you see what I'm doing? So you fold it inside. Now you can choose to fold it, you can choose to give it any shape you want. Some people can give some kind of shape, but the shape I want to give is just this square shape. So you're going to fold it inside this way. Now when you fold it inside, make sure nothing is showing. Make sure it is not showing like this, because everything has to be sealed inside. So you can reduce it from here. You push your seam allowance inside to get a smaller edge here. So you fold this way. Can you see that after folding, it's closed already? So you continue sewing. When you get here, you can use your hand to turn it for easy access. Then you turn like this. You turn like this. Then you sew here. When you get to this part, you raise your machine up and you place it on it again, and you keep sewing. Now this is how the placket is. So on this part here, you have to cover here. This piping we did here, you have to cover it. So you cover it properly. So when you notice that you've covered it, you now stop sewing from there. So let's say this is where it is. So I'm going to stop sewing from here because I realize I have covered the placket, the piping rather. So you're going to raise your machine up again. You turn this one this way, and you're going to sew to meet your seam here. So you raise it up and you back stitch. So mates, that is how to get your placket. Do you see it? So do you see it? When you raise it up, can you see? It is very neat. It's like this. Look at it from the inside here. Look at it from the inner parts here. Okay guys, so the next thing is to work on our pleats now. From this placket here, you're going to measure 1.5 like this. After measuring this 1.5, you measure 1/2 inch from that 1.5, because we'll be doing 3 pleats on this shirt sleeve. So from this 1/2 inch, you now measure 1 inch like this. Now from the 1 inch, you measure 1/2 inch, you indicate it. So from this 1/2 inch, you measure 1 inch again, because we want our pleats to be accurate. Yes, we want our pleats to be accurate. So you're going to do the same thing, 1/2 inch, then 1 inch. So let's work on the pleats now. So from this 1 inch, guys, you're going to raise it to this 1/2 inch, the way it is like this. Do you understand? From this first 1 inch here, from this last 1 inch here, you're going to pleat it to meet the 1/2 inch. Then you use your pin to hold it down. Now this is our first pleat. Now the second pleat is from this 1 inch also, you pleat to this 1/2 inch. So you also use your pin to secure it down. So this is the second pleat. Now the third pleat, from this 1 inch, you pleat to this, you pleat to this 1/2 inch. So we have 3 pleats here. Okay, let's add 1 more pleat, make it 4 pleats. So mates, we have 4 pleats here. So I'll be sewing the pleats down. So guys, I've sewed the 4 pleats. Let me remove the pins. Now these 4 pleats, so mates, I'm going to press it. I'm going to go to the iron now, and I will iron it. So if I want to iron, it shouldn't be more than, the ironing should not pass this placket length here. It should not pass this placket length here. The total length of this placket is 7 inches. So if I iron it, should not be more than this placket length. So let me go and do that. Then I'll come back and show you guys. So guys, after ironing it, this is how the plate is. Now the next thing is to fold it this way. You can choose to measure your edge sleeve here. So if you have any excess, you're going to indicate your 4.5 inches. Your seam allowance, just indicate it here. Then on these upper parts, remember we have 1 inch sewing allowance there. So after sewing, you turn it out. Now can you see, when I wear it on my hand, this is how it is. So guys, this is the placket and this is the pleat here. So the next thing is to fix our band. The same thing we did for the first one. You have to measure whatever you have here. That's how you sew your band on it. So I have 10 inches here. I end up doing 10 inches. So you're going to fold it this way, and you're going to measure 10 inches for you to have allowance. I'll be sewing half inch on both sides. And you place this one on it. So look at how it is. And you top stitch it. You sew on the band. So means I am tired. So you're going to, when you are sewing, you always make sure inside is not folding. Our shirt placket is ready. Can you see how beautiful it is? Like, you know how we do, we always sew neatly on this channel. So when I iron it, it will stay properly. Now look at it from the inside, and this is it. Now this is the sleeve on the table. I've made the second hand. I had to do that off camera. Now that is the plate by the side, the plate, and that's the placket there. Then what you're not going to do is just to fix your buttons, and you're good to go. Thank you guys. Bye.